Next, I'm going to focus on the glenoid fossa. Select the face and extrude it. And oops, I picked the wrong thing. Edit mesh, extrude face. And I can pull this out. You notice the face is starting to, the surface of the glenoid fossa is tilting superiorly and anteriorly. So I'll use that in this first rendition. I'll select that face and hit G again to extrude it again. And then I'm going to hit G again. So these two real quick extrusions are going to give me the thickness. You can see, I think probably easiest from here. I now have this thickness. Okay. What I could have done is change the scale before I did that second one. That would have made more sense, but I'll have to work with that now. So I have this face selected, and I'll select the other faces and hit R to scale, and I'll make this come out and position it to where it's now at the widest point. Okay. Now if you notice what I've done when I did that position, I kind of messed things up a little bit. So grab this edge and move it a little bit. Grab this edge and maybe rotate it. Again, I'm going to go to the world. And I'm going to scale that as well. And I'm going to make sure I have just that edge and scale it. And from down here in the front, I'm going to grab the face that's facing me. Let me put on the smooth shade, and you can see I've got my photo is in the front. It's in front of my view, so I'm going to move the photo make sure it's on world and then move it straight back. So now I can see my image right behind the area, and if I go back to wireframe I can see through it better. The other way you can do this, sometimes it helps to use X-ray, so now you've kind of got a semi-transparent material to look through. Okay, so I need to do some more modifying of the glenoid fossa there. This is just a little too awkward the way this edge is pinching, so I'm going to move that a little bit, and that actually helps. It helps get this shape more consistent with what we want. I can maybe move it back a little bit, and I think I can scale this edge a little bit, the one right behind my lip, if you will, and maybe rotate it so it isn't quite so okay. And that kind of gets me so I'm rotating these two and moving them to try to make a little more of a subtle transition out. Okay, there we go. Okay, and as I mentioned, now this edge could go a little wider. There we go. As I mentioned, I wanted the I like the base of the coracoid. Also, I need a little more information here in my glenoid. So what I'm going to do is insert rather an edge loop right about the middle, and that will help me also act as the base of my coracoid. Okay, so I'm a little high. I'll take that edge and move it down just a little bit there. Okay. Now the other thing I can do is take these two faces in the front and scale them. So now I'm getting a little bit of a lip. All right. Now I'm not extruding this because that tends to be a little more dramatic than I want for this. I could have extruded the center and made a cup like we did for the sternum, for example, but instead I'd rather do this a little more subtly. I'm going to try to get these edges to be not quite so dramatic, the change. Okay, a little subtler there. Didn't pull that one on this side, so I'll pull it down. Okay. And that gives me my shape. Now the one thing I notice obviously is the glenoid fossa is much narrower at the top. And so what I'll do is I'll take these faces and scale them. And maybe move them back a little bit this way. So again, this orientation is not perfect by any means. So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. Same thing with this bottom. It's not as wide as it is in the middle, so I'll take it down a little bit. Then you see when I smooth it, I kind of get pretty much what I want. Now I'd like to indent it more, but I know in the future one last step I'll do is I'll run an edge right through the middle here. I'll insert an edge right through there, and that'll give me some vertices to do that with. So I'm going to hold off on that kind of minor modification until I get the next couple steps done. So that's basically just what I want for the glenoid fossa at this point.